Hey, welcome back to another episode of Dead Men Walking Podcast. I'm your host, Greg.
You didn't hit record.
What's that?
You didn't hit record.
Okay, let's do it over. Ready? Here we go. I wondered what our producer over there was.
Yeah.
Here we go. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Dead Men Walking Podcast. I'm Greg.
And I'm Jason.
And in between us,
Dr. Ben Merkle.
Hello.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
El Presidente of St. Norbert.
Thank you.
Yes.
Sit a little taller now, I guess.
Right.
oh man, we're live at Fight Laugh Feast in Rapid City, South Dakota, and we're having a great time. We've had some great talks today, and Dr. Ben just got off stage, gave us one heck of a opening title that grabbed me. What was that opening title? Can you repeat it?
Well, okay, so there are actually two titles. The first was something like Thy Kingdom Come, which I made really ambiguous because I had no idea what I was going to actually do.
Yes.
But then the
true educator.
The subtitle then became, you might not be pedobaptist or postmill, but the left is, and that's why they're winning.
Oh, man.
I loved it. Yeah. Love that.
He's ready to fight with those words.
Right.
So give us a little overview for the listeners. What did that entail? So I don't know. Do you really think they're winning? What's with the pedobaptism and the words there?
Sure.
You don't really think leftists believe in that, do you?
Right. So I qualified that. By pedobaptism, what I basically meant was the left believes that the children are theirs, and that was primarily demonstrated through their sort of chokehold on public education. So they believe the kids are theirs, and I think they're doing an effective job of using public education to steal all of the children. And then post-millennially, what I meant was they believe that the future is theirs, and they have a narrative that they've crafted and really sold most of America on, that history is going in a very particular direction. They're the progressives, and progress implies that they are the future. And so if you're not a progressive, then you're on the wrong side of history. So I think by holding those two positions, they really have the kids. They have pedobaptism and postmillennialism, and I think that has been very effective for them. I don't think that they're in the long run, because I wouldn't be post-mill if I did.
Yeah. But they're winning at that messaging for sure.
Yeah,
I feel like, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I do think that we're seeing, over the last 6 months, the sort of deplatforming of conservatism, Christianity, and whatnot shows that we've not been doing the work that we should have been doing, and that they have.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That is an interesting conversation too, because I really see us, needing a platform, because we're getting suppressed online.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting posts taken down. We just had something happened to us a couple weeks ago. We had a conversation.
Only took them a year to catch up to us, but they got us.
I know. We had Glenn Sunshine on. We had a clip where we talked about critical race theory, intersectionality, and we labeled that on our Facebook post, and we were getting so many, views on our Facebook post, and it went all the way down to just nothing, pretty much. So they pretty much deplatformed us.
Yeah,
on Facebook.
And it shows you. I think the other part of the talk was just talking about how this reveals the myth of pluralism. We've been told that this world is all about diversity and pluralistic and whatnot. And you find out that's just. Yeah, that's all a con.
The tolerance of the intolerant left.
Yeah. Well, that's Doug years ago. He dubbed it the intoleristas, which is people who use tolerance supposedly as a weapon to just club the snot out of you.
Yeah,
the intoleristas.
But I think stuff like this fight, are really kind of it's starting this. Christians. Look, I've said this before. We're going to have a lot of churches come under a lot of scrutiny, pressure. There's going to probably be some falling away and some pruning. But what has the church always done under persecution? It's refined itself and become stronger. And I'm kind of seeing, and you're involved in this as well, even at New St. Andrews College, taking a stand is this refining process of the Christian church.
Yeah.
I really do believe that.
No, I strongly agree with that. I think that we should not be disturbed and dismayed by the tumult, because the tumult always opens opportunities. And really what we need to be doing is sort of shot in the arm to make us start building. Like we really need to be building those institutions that last.
Yeah.
And this is a great opportunity for it.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. And then on top of that, you had a question asked of you at the end of your really like the answer you gave, and I was hoping you could repeat a little bit or expound on that, where he said, hey, okay, you have a church, it's thriving, it's biblical, you maybe have a post-secondary education system, it's thriving, it's biblical. Where do we go next? Do we need to get into tech? Do we need to get into, well, he said, should we get into media? And you touched on media, but then you also touched on tech, which I hadn't heard at either of these conferences yet. And can you speak to a little bit of that? Is where should we as Christians be going out into the world and making some established things, media, tech, things like that?
Yeah, I gave him 3, and then as I was walking off, I thought of a 4th. But
we get the 4th. Bonus material on Dead Men Walking.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Here first.
The 3 I said were, first of all, media, and by media I mean everything from entertainment to news to fiction, nonfiction. Basically, I think the left has done a good job of controlling the narrative, but we're the ones with the actual true story. We should be the true masters of the word.
I like that.
And so I think media production first. I think tech, just because those are kind of the platforms that we're on.
Yeah.
And once you get bumped by, if you don't know coding, you don't know computers, you don't know the internet, you're hosed. And there's such an opportunity at this moment, because it used to be, from the media perspective, you had to be in Los Angeles or in New York City if you wanted to do anything. There are a couple places in the world where you can make it happen. The digital boom has blown that open, and so the fact that you're having this podcast, this is a great example of the kind of innovation that's open to us now, but it only remain open as long as the technology is available to us. And so I think, you got to have Christians in tech. And then the third that I gave was finance. I think that we need to be able to actually understand money, how money works, and to control it and use it wisely.
Yeah.
So, and then the fourth that I would add, and that I probably should have mentioned before, is I do think law. I think that we should be putting a lot of time into understanding law. I see, like in Moscow, when it comes to education, I feel like we've earned our stripes. Like we've built the schools from K to 12 all the way through college and grad school. We've earned our stripes when it comes to college. But when it comes to law, and now all of a sudden we're having these tussles with a local city government, and I think we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I think that it's really easy to get involved in local politics, but it's dominated by people who really don't have a life, and they're able to make your life hell because they've put so much time into controlling the local political machinery. I think we need to figure out how to take that back.
Yeah. And I would add to that too, when you say tech, I don't want people to think, someone who's quick with a camera or video or a website. Like, we need to go deeper than that.
Yeah.
I want to see very wealthy investing in servers and and hosting spots. And I mean, we saw overnight how the government is smart to a point to where they understand, look, we just can't totally run over the Constitution. So we're in bed with private organizations and private companies that then say, we'll do your bidding for you. We'll do the agenda bidding for you. So you have Amazon who hosts things. You have Facebook who has these things, Google, and they go, okay, we'll just take down the hosting sites of whoever it is, the Twitter, the Gab, or what's the other one that just got taken down? Not Gab, but Parler. Yeah. I would love to see very smart, wealthy believers say we need to invest in infrastructure in tech, because until we do that, it's just going to be a switch, shut it off and shut up, and then we can't use it to our advantage
anymore. I don't
anymore.
think Apple or Microsoft are going to do that for you.
Right.
I don't think so. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. So why don't you give us, as we wrap up here, why don't you give us your favorite moment so far at the Fight, Laugh, Feast rally? We've kind of been asking people who've been on Did you have a takeaway? You can be really rambunctious and say it was something you said. Was one of your favorite. Did you have something in mind? I mean, obviously, we love to see so many believers come together. The night before is unbelievable. The talks today were so good. Did you have anything that you liked about the rally so far?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. The psalm singing is just, I think that's so vibrant, and I think that's going to be at the heart of reforming the church and sort of lighting a fire across the U.S. So I'm really excited to hear people just sort of catch the contagion of psalm singing, which is a lot of fun. I enjoyed sitting in on Nate's talk right before. He has such an ability to entertain you while kind of completely wrecking your own heart. Like it just he sort of demolishes people while having them sitting there and chuckling.
Right.
Yeah, as a parent too, it was so great.
Yeah,
some of his stuff.
He's really good at that. So I always enjoy listening to that.
Cool. Well, as we sign off here, why don't you just give everyone a place to go if they want a spectacular post-secondary education with New St. Andrews College?
nsa.edu. Check us out.
Beautiful. Love it. Thank you so much, Dr. Merkle, for coming on. And as always, God bless.
Thank you.
Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Dead Men Walking Podcast for full video podcast episodes and clips, or email us at deadmenwalkingpodcast@gmail.com.